Now this is the quest that Pi invited us to. So you'll actually see something similar, whereas all the little cutscenes and whatnot in the previous one took place mostly with Kun, most of them here will take place with Pi. And you know what? I'm okay with that, because Pi's kinda awesome.
Hello. No.
I'm surprised. I never expected an invite from you.
I think you should thank me for training you as a GU member.
What?
Come on now, don't worry. It's a quest, right? Let's have some fun.
And fun shall be had. Head back up to the dome here so we can warp out to our next area. Now, kind of what I was talking about before about how they kind of force you to use certain characters and they only give you the characters that you need. This is like, if we check now, we have 4 characters online. We need Adderley and Syllabus for the arena, and we need Kun and Pi for these quests. What the crap are Gaspard and Pyros doing right now? I mean, Gaspard, I don't know. I got nothing for Gaspard. And Pyros woke up not too long ago because he sent me an email response. So, yeah, I don't know what they're doing. But, oh well. Bookmark, we're going to Disputing Gray Tiny Beast.
Hey, you're...
Oh! Alcade!
Hi there. Are you guys going into the dungeon too? What a coincidence. So are we.
Well, if it isn't the great Haseo.
What?
I'm surprised a cheater like you needs to take on quests like a regular player. Isn't that far off your style? Huh. Let's go. If we hang around him too much, it might rub off on us.
And we get to see a good bit of Alcade in this dungeon. Now, Alcade is actually one of the characters in this game that I'm rather fond of. Which is interesting considering there's a lot of characters in this game that I should say, that I'm not all that fond of. But Alcade I actually rather like. So, I'm actually looking forward to seeing more of her. Now let's see here, where am I going? Now, in this particular dungeon, what you have to do is kill all of the crab-type enemies, which is all the enemies, and then once you kill them all, the boss will spawn. So, let's see here, you know what, I'll go with this because I need to raise my skill with it.
You're not getting away.
Even though the enemies here are kind of weak and I'm probably not going to get much skill from them. Yay! Now, to continue what I was talking about in the previous dungeon. Oh, I also got a new skill with the broadsword. I want to show that one off as soon as I can. Got that one. Got it in Matsu's dungeon. Ah, darn it! You killed him.
I guess we won.
Now, to continue where I left off, though, talking about why Haseo is doing all this in the first place. Now, to be honest, I could tell you, but my point wasn't to try to get an answer, but to get to people to actually try to think about it. And that so many people were really unsure and said, well, I think it's because of this. To be honest, you all proved my point, which is that it's very poorly told why Haseo's doing this in the first place. I mean, if you really want to know why he's doing this, just check back to the video where he challenged entrance to the tournament in the first place. Said he was going to go into it. He is going into it merely because Entrance said that Haseo had no power, Haseo couldn't summon an avatar, and generally made fun of him and the like. And Haseo is joining to prove him wrong and make fun of him. Oh, I forgot to do it again! And to be honest, that's it. That's really why. And the counter to that I said was, well, a lot of people have really insulted Haseo and belittled him and whatnot, and he hasn't gone on a massive quest that takes up the entire game for him to go through a dungeon to go back against them. And to be honest, that's kind of where the plot hole here is, and where they could have done a bit better job telling the story about why he went in the first place. I mean, maybe emphasized a bit more that he hated the fact that Entrance was cheating and using the avatar on regular people. And in fact, that would have made it more obvious when Haseo said he had no problems whatsoever with using his own avatar, that he was certainly not speaking for himself. I mean, that alone would have killed like 2 birds with 1 stone, but... Okay, I'm content now. Yeah, so overall, that is kind of my problem here, and that's one complaint that the GU games got a lot of, which is how important the tournament is to all 3 games. That's right, we're going to be going through a tournament in the other 2 games as well. And it's just how central to the plot it is, and it... At the very least in the first game, it's been a while since I've played the later one, so I forget just how important it is to the overlying plot. Please don't tell me in the comments, I don't care, and I'll figure out soon enough. But, it is very important. I mean, it's central to the events that transpire in this game. But at the same time, it's kind of glossed over. I mean, it really feels, it honestly feels like it was just kind of used as padding, almost.
Well, that's that, I guess.
Now, I'll admit it was a good choice, because it added some variety to the gameplay. Whereas in the original quadrilogy, the whole game could pretty much be summed up with check the board for clues, log in, go to area word where clue was. Whether clue was successful or not, log out, check board for more clues. And that was kinda it.
They're here again! Ugh, you're still here.
We're on a quest.
Why is a cheater like you taking on a quest? Hey, you cheater! Stop showing yourself around me. I might not stop myself from bashing you in the head. You were a PKK until recently, right? Called yourself the Terror of Death? Ha! I bet you cheated to get famous.
Okay, now that was too low.
Honest, people are busting their butts in the arena. So, someone like you isn't welcomed in the tournament.
That's a nice speech. And you're the poor little girl that's protecting the order of the arena?
Shut up! You don't know anything, so butt out of it.
And you claim that you do? You know why he was a PKK? Or why he entered the tournament? Why he did this?
What?
You're the one who doesn't know.
Hi.
All right.
Oh. So, you had some legitimate reason to cheat? Don't make me laugh.
I don't have any reason to stay here.
Let's go.
But at this point, Pi does. So yeah, I guess you could sum up my whole... Or I guess to continue what I was talking about before. Which was, the tournament was actually a very good idea. I mean, it really helped... It really helped space out the game, add a little bit of variety to it. It just could have been handled a lot better. Which, I guess my whole complaint with the game series as a whole, GU as a whole, is really that it has a good story with a lot of potential. It was just poorly told and poorly explained. And this isn't... And of course, I've got some people telling me, well, what else are they gonna do about it? I mean, nobody was around to talk about this. And to be honest, that's not my problem. That's the problem of the writers who wrote themselves into a corner so that no one was around to say anything. I mean, this should have come up when they were initially planning out the story. When they figured, oh, things aren't actually going nearly as well as they could have.
Well, that's that, I guess.
The storyline is kind of difficult to understand at this point. How can we alter the overall storyline to help better explain this?
Something is still here.
Ah, the boss spawned. Now I'm going this way. So, yeah, that's really my whole complaint with the series as a whole, and this is something that I've mentioned a couple times in the video description, but I haven't explicitly said it in video, which is just because, in short, summarizing pretty much everything, it's just because there is an explanation doesn't mean it's a good one, nor does it mean that matters were explained well. And that's really my kind of opinion on the whole matter. I think the later games pick up on this and help improve on that a good bit, but from what I've seen of the first game so far, I'm not terribly impressed with their storytelling. That aside, go fight us a boss.
Damn it! Where did they go? The boss finally appeared too. What? Hey, that's my prey! Don't even think about it! I was here first!
Hey, look out!
Damn it.
I don't feel like losing today.
Obligatory crab battle! Now, a couple people were also asking why I tend not to use the morale gauge as often as I could. And for the most part, these battles are easy enough as is. I don't want to make what's supposed to be a little bit of a challenge into an outright slaughter. This especially goes for the arena matches, where I managed to build up a full morale gauge pretty easily. It's like with the fight against Alcade. That was supposed to be a really hard fight, but if I used an awakening, I would have just destroyed her. So...
I guess we won.
Are you okay, sis? Did these guys cause you trouble?
You're gonna get it for that! Stop!
Why'd you save me anyway?
Who knows?
Why'd you have to win by cheating?
None of your business.
It is my business because you beat me! I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what your motivation is. But what you did at the tournament is an insult to all the fighters of the arena. I'll never forgive you for it. One of these days, I'm gonna get you back. That's why. Till that day, you better not lose to anyone else. You can have that treasure. That should clear my debt to you.
Sis, is it really okay?
No way! You're giving the item to him?
Hey, you got a nice item there.
This is...
It's perfect for a rookie like you.
I'm not a rookie! I was level 133 not too long ago.
Did you invite me here because you knew this item was here?
Don't get the wrong idea. We need you to become something that we can use.
Thanks.
What? It's not like you to show gratitude. Oh. Come on, we're heading back.
Hello.
That we did.
This is for you. Thank you.
And we're done here. We got a text of stamina, which lets us physical defense by 3. Heck yeah. Now that item that we got was an amber dragon eye, which lets us customize our accessory with experience plus 10%. So it would go in here. I'm not going to use it because it's easy enough for me to get level ups as is. If I find myself needing some experience, I'll consider it, but I actually don't right now. And I don't want to be too over-leveled, which is really easy to do. Now, regardless, we're actually not quite done here. Gonna log out real quick. And go check the community forum. If you remember last time, some guy was talking about finding an irritating mob. He was actually talking about the Cernunnos event. So we responded by asking a little bit about him, and they responded with a keyword. So we have one last bit to go to for the Cernunnos event. Actually, I believe it's properly called the Abyss. But whatever. Now, who should I invite for this one? Let's get Kun and Pai back anyway. What do you guys say anyway?
Is there another problem? You're scowling again.
What is it? Get to the point. I'm talking to Master Yada right now. If it's not important, talk to me later.
I like how she said that, because it had that air of, I'm busy right now, don't talk to me, but at the same time, she is happy to talk to us later. She is just honestly busy. So let's go ahead and wrap up today's update with the next line in the Abyss Quest. I think it's called the Abyss Quest anyway. It's called something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and call it the Cernunnos event because it sounds funny and I like pronouncing it funny. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Probably not, don't care. Nah, kick these things, get some items. There's no monsters in here. I remember the very first one of these we went to, there were actually a couple monsters. Now, if memory serves, we're fighting a bunch of small dudes, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep this weapon equipped. And get this underway.
How should we handle this?
Same three dudes as before, maybe a little bit stronger. Man, they're quick. It also stunned them, which is why I like using this. Yes, I've been told about the, cancel. Yes, I've used it. Yes, I've explained it in video. It's not actually useful to use the single-hit cancel under every situation. Like now, when I just want to stun them to death so they can't fight back. It's cheap, but you know what? It works.
That was nothing.
Wait, but I haven't lost any. I don't think I even got hit. And with that, we're done. But it looks like things have taken a turn for the worst, as they may just be able to summon Lord Cernunnos anyway, and I can't log out from in here. So head on back to town. And with that, the only thing left for us to do is to go to the arena for the title match against Endurance, what we've been going through this entire tournament for. Until next time, everyone, things are starting to come to an end.